Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. Good morning. Hope everyone had a restful evening, and for the people overseas in Europe, a good trading day so far. U.S. market set to open in a little bit. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term viewers, please do leave some comments and like the videos. And welcome to everybody watching on other platforms, including Share Vision, Twitter, and Facebook. Let's see. Hey, Ken. Good morning, Wavy. Yes, happy Friday to everyone. Good morning, Davey. Good morning, Options 22. Reminder Michigan consumer sentiment coming at 9 Central Time, and then we have more Fed speakers at 9, 10:30, and 11, all Central Time. So just do your time conversion yourself. But those again might be market moving. The market seems to be shrugging off all the hawkish tones, but we shall have to see. Impending home sales is can have some minor effect on stuff, but pretty much the market keeps, from my perspective, shoving uh, just ignoring everything. Just wants to do what it wants to do. Remember, next week is month and quarter end, so we will try to get some window dressing on there. Will we get a pullback before then? That's what we're watching. Good morning, Josh and Sterling. We're watching for that window dressing starting next week, closer to the 31st. By the way, we're still close to 70% for a 50 basis point hike. We're in positive gamma territory, dampening effect on the rallies unless we drop back below 44.90, and that's going to be psychologically key because that 4,500, if we lose those levels. You can see here, let me switch cameras. Here we go. Analysis time. All right, we put up these levels at the overview, and you see here stalling out 45, 30, 75, and pulling back. I'm really watching going into the open. I'm keeping an eye on the bottom of the 1 hour rotation zone, which is right at this prior resistance peak. All right, so right around 45.13, 45.12, that's going to be key support. If we break below there, the only next minor support we have, then the market's getting really tired. 45.02, and then I'd be watching for the bigger pullback if we do break below that. But we have a lot of stopping points in here. Let's see, what was the high here? 45.30, 75, 45.31, 75. So double is off the table at this point. So there is no double. Well, we can't use those targets, but that will be a key level if you do break below this 44, 46. But that's, again, we have the rotation zone, and even if we get some selling today, I'll shift. If we start breaking below the 1 hour, I'm just watching if we catch at the bottom of the 4 hour rotation zone. Traditionally, when I've seen this price action, it's you can see stair stepping higher with lower momentum each push, so it is running out of momentum. So we could see the bigger start a pullback today, especially after this massive run and taking some profits off into the weekend. I won't get super bearish though unless we have major momentum bars to the downside. We could be choppy to lower or choppy to higher. So pretty much the theme today I'm watching for is choppy unless we start getting in those momentum bars. 44.72 is key. I will be extremely interested in that. That's the 200. So even on a pullback, watching that on a closing basis, and I'm going to be watching that with about that 4 hour rotation zone to the upside. Remember, the upside, based off the research we've done, a close above this 45, 43, 25 today would imply continued higher prices at least through the end of the month. That doesn't mean you can't get pulled back days or anything else, but then we'd be watching for a continued price action higher. And my first area would be this 45.80. So let's see what else I can probably, we're stalling out there. This is where we went from a reverse harmonic at this point. I'm just looking at this little forward harmonic off the open, and look at it, just reinforces that 45.43 level. And then we have that cluster now, 45.57 to 45.53. So those are my next two targets higher if it does continue on the push higher. Nasdaq, We have major clusters at 14,851. Again, stair stepping higher also, but moving out of not being able to get to that next cluster area. I'm not watching the 1 hour on this. I'm more focused on the 4 hour and a pullback to 14,663 to see if that holds to about 14,600. That's my key level if we do pull back. Beyond that, on another move higher, I'm going to have to bump this out of the way to the last major pausing area. And then 14,909 to 15,127 on a move up. But we are at that key 50% level. Where's that key 50% level? That is from this whole decline. So that is a very key level that has come up to. And remember, we talked about that many times, how important that 50% level is. Now, what's interesting, I just moved the harmonics to that next major pausing area, and look where that next major harmonic is, right at the flat 200. So that's going to be an important target, even if we pull back today for month end and a rotation back higher. That's going to be my key target for month end. If we pull back more, the key support is coming in, and not just for today, but also for the start of Sunday night, about 14,430, 440. We'll just go off there. Right here, you got the hooking up 50 and the daily rotation zone, and this little, you got this spike high, but you have this really strong support ledge coming in here. And you have a harmonic. So right in here is going to be key levels. On the Dow, the Dow's just pausing out at the 34,710. Sorry, now next push higher, 34,765. And then 34,792 are the areas I am watching. No longer a potential double off here. So we're essentially canceling out all the big reversal patterns. And by the way, this is not a head and shoulders. It's too high up here. So if we do break above this key level, but again, looking tired, 34,975. Here's where another area you can use your reverse harmonics. Right from here to there. So eking higher, if it stair steps higher and gets above this highs back from the 22nd of March, 34,864, 34,937. 4 hour is really flat. So on pullback levels, I'm just watching the daily, and my major pullback levels would be back to about 34,337. Let's see what else we have. Nasdaq appears to be making a run towards 200-day moving average, 14,700. So inflation rages war. Yep, nothing matters. And again, you have month end, and unless there's a shock coming out, and this doesn't just state today, but through the end of the quarter, which is March 31st, and then even rolling into April 1st, we could just see this constant grind upward higher with minor pullbacks along the way, but then pushes up higher. The market's discounting everything. The market's just doing what the market does, and there is no fear. The fear is evaporating. You can see the VIX, if we do not pull back big today, the VIX can easily return to its 200 and this basing area, which it was in well before the war started. So, and we have inflation raging. We have a lot of stuff, but the market's going to do what the market's going to do. That's why you have to trade the price action. Russell, real quick. Basing, this is interesting because this could be an interesting play, especially for next week. Above this 2082 area, into a clear path move, could make an interesting run to about 2136, 2137 area pretty quick. Doubting that will happen today. It could start to move, but then I'd watch for a slight pullback to get back in on that move. But that's the key thing I'm watching with the Russell. When something bases at key resistance and you let the price action like this, the rotation zones catch up, and then it just holds that, that's a major sign for a potential breakout play. So that's what I'm watching for, especially going into month end. DAX sitting here. DAX is still breakdown zone is about 14,200, and my key level to the upside is 14,600. Until then, it's just trading in a range. Above 14,600, again, not necessarily for today, but for next week, could make a really nice run to 14,833. Breakdown below 14,200. Then I'm watching more so for the pullback area to about 13,950. Crude continuing its pullback right back to the daily. We broke finally. You can see the key close without a redraw below the trend line, kissing the trend line goodbye. 4-hour rotation zone just breaking down. My next support area, again, I'm watching is about 107.50. And below that, if we do start breaking below 107.50, it's 105.50. Below 105.50, I can get into more bearish mode. But right now, we are finally getting the pullback. It went higher, and we did not get the close above 62.5. So we could technically be range bound in crude for a little bit of time, chopping back and forth. And I get bullish again about a close above the 62.5, about 116.60, and a little more bearish down below 105, 105.50. But again, there's no major sell signals or buy signals, so we could end up in choppy area. I will watch if we do pull down here for another rotation higher, but unless we get some momentum in with that, not really doing much for me. Good morning, Amit. Good morning, Lauren. Mike, Tesla looking weak. Pre-market thoughts for a short-term trade. I'll get to that in 1 second. Let's just glance at our notes. We still do have, it looks like now, getting into triple-ish territory. We didn't get a strong rotation up again, which is what I'm watching for. So even with a slight push lower, I'm keeping these targets on, but it is not confirmed nor triggered. 123.12. Above there, then I'd start getting into slight bullish on notes and bearish on yields, but this looks like it wants to push lower today still. The next key lower levels, the next major lower level is 121.23. Dollar index, we still have a potential double. Dollars just trying to hold on. I'm going to keep watching if it does rotate down the bottom of the rotation zone. Let's see. Tesla. Again, Tesla is looking tired along with the market. If we do, I mean, it's pre-market pretty much flat, but I'm keeping an eye if it does move up here for a potential double. And the key area would be below this low from the 23rd of March at 984.86. If we did trigger below that, we don't have an official double yet, so I can't put on the targets, but that's what I'm watching for. Because also you go into this clear path move. You have your double targets. I'd be doing the conservative ones, but you need a slight push higher off the open to get to that levels. If it does push above the highs from the 23rd, miners 1046.44, 1053.28, above 1053.28, 1076.28. Where do we sit? You can see still massively spiked on all our oscillators. So it is, I mean, it's just looking like it's running out of steam, but you still just raise the stops and trail. If it does pull back in that double, we get a confirmed double. The major support area is coming back at about 940. Okay, but with the market pushing up, still stair-stepping up, I'm just going to be watching the Nasdaq on the open. Even if it pulls back slightly, just watch that Nasdaq. I wouldn't get overly concerned unless it starts breaking below about 14,690. What else do we have? Checking in on gold real quick. Gold, this is again why trading around the core position. Key support now is this resistance shelf becoming support at about 1945. Inside data, yesterday's breakout day so far. So that could be, if you're looking for a short-term level on gold, that would be it. Or then above this yesterday's high, where's the next target? Looks like we're going to get some pausing here. Next target would be about 981. Then major target is 1991. 1981 and 1991 and this. So you have the 50% down move, you have the harmonic, and you have this prior support shelf becoming resistance. So on the next push higher, that's my target if you're trading around the core position. Silver, again, triggering this sloppy double, just pulling back. I talked last night, if you're watching for a pullback area, about 25.65, between 25.65 and 25.77 for a rotation back up. Other than that, not seeing much else. So let's just check in. Remember, if we do start continuing to rally, or if we continue to rally, I'm still focused on mega caps and junk growth. We still have room to play. Just for if anybody didn't see the update yesterday, here's your value versus growth. We finally completed the double targets. We're up against the completion, so we talked about this last week to focus on those, and a growth, especially junk growth, moving higher. And here's your mega cap index bumping up against this 50, and the technical analysis works on it. But you start getting a move above this again, that's where I'll watch for more mega cap play into the end of the month. And if you look at the grouping of our own mega cap index, pausing here, you see little pause, letting the rotation zone catch up. The only negative would be we may have a double, but we need a pretty substantial rollover play to target that. What's the next target on this is this prior little peak and about 77.61. So that's not just for today, that's also going into next week. I still wait on doubles to confirm and trigger before taking action, but it seems like I'm developing an ability to see them setting up way ahead of time. Is that desirable? Yeah. The reason I say the beginners especially should wait for, you should definitely wait for the trigger. Now, there could be shorter terms. That's when I say you can always front run a pattern if you have another trigger. All right. So let's just use this chart I'm on. Let's say it pushes up, you got a little double top here. All right, and then we get another sell signal. I'm just using this as an example. We got a sell signal up here, it rolls over, and I have a more aggressive sell signal. I can take that sell signal and then try to roll it into a double trigger. Now, if you're waiting for the double trigger, the safest play is to always wait for the close. So in this case, it would be the close below this 74.20 area. Now, once you get good at it, I've talked about a break below, a retest, and then on a shorter term time frame and a rollover play, that can be a more aggressive entry. You have to be nimble, because if it breaks down and then closes back above, it's confirmed double, but not a triggered double. So that's where if you're trying to get in these moves early, that's a more advanced concept, and I don't press that especially for newer traders or traders just trying to learn a pattern, because you can get yourself caught. And then you're going to take a reliable pattern and turn it into an unreliable pattern just because you're trying to front run things. I hope that makes sense. We can always discuss that more in a future segment. With that, I'm going to start prepping for the open. Let's just see. Again, we're just pausing here. Just pausing here. Slight pullback. Remember, I had those key levels, just pulling back. And going to watch just the opening price action. Then what happens 30 minutes after the open with the key reports coming out. Let me see again. Where was it? With the key reports coming out, let's just take another peek. Everything's starting at 9 a.m. Pending home sales, Fed Williams, and Michigan consumer sentiment, and that can potentially move the market unless it's shrugging off everything still. Until then, I will talk to everyone later. Thank you for watching. And I will be back this afternoon. We might not do a market overview. I might be doing a teaching segment, Mike's Classroom, around 3:30 today Central, a live teaching classroom. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Looking forward to my Friday afternoon classroom today. Curious what else you use for buy-sell signals. I'm going to be going into, well, I'm not going to tell you. You can join then, and it'll be a surprise. Thank you, Amit. Thank you. Have everybody a great trading day. Again, if you don't have anything going on a Friday, you don't have any strong setups, and we're into this choppy price action, don't force anything. It's better to sit on your hands and wait for, the price action to unfold next week with month end. And then don't throw money away if the markets are crappy today. With that, talk to everyone later. Bye for now.